What's up, my friend? David Moss Jr. here, and I am at the Sisu factory in Amish Country, Ohio, giving you a first look and reviewing the brand new Crew Cabin Sauna and the Crew Cabin XL Sauna. In this video, we're gonna talk about everything you need to know to decide if one of these saunas is the perfect sauna for you. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about the statistics of both of these saunas, but I wanna start with the Crew Cabin XL. This is gonna be a sauna that's outfitted for 6 to 8 people. 6 people very comfortably, 8 people squeezing in there, but there's a lot of room. I got to sit inside here with Pete, the founder of Sisu Sauna, and spend a little bit of time learning about the build out of this sauna, but more importantly, the journey to get to the sauna. This wasn't just a sauna they decided they wanted to bring to market. These are hand built right here in Ohio, but more importantly, every detail of the sauna was well thought out, and there was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of, no, we're not gonna go with this route, we're gonna change it, we're gonna do it. They wanted to make sure that the experience of owning this sauna was one that you could truly enjoy, and you could bring your whole crew over and really have a great experience inside the sauna. Now, as far as price, the price is subject to change, so I will have a link down in the description below. You're more than welcome to go check that out, and it'll give you every little detail that you need to know. But as of shooting this video, the price is starting at $10,495 for the Crew Cabin XL Sauna, and that comes outfitted with the Hume 9 kilowatt heater, which is capable of reaching 230 degrees Fahrenheit, and is arguably one of the most powerful sauna heaters on the market in the USA today. So I'm a big measurements guy, so I'm gonna measure the sauna too and show you exactly what the size is, but there are gonna be 2 options. 1, you're gonna have the indoor option, but 2, you're gonna have the exterior option, which is going to give you the roof kit. The roof kit is gonna come with an aluminum drip coil, a rain and ice guard, and then cedar lap siding. And what that's gonna do is give you a nice weatherproofing on the roof, keeping the rain or the snow from penetrating into your sauna and extending the life of your sauna. See, at Sisu, they really wanna make sure that this is one of those saunas that you can purchase and it's gonna live for a very long time so that you can have many wonderful experiences in your sauna for years to come. All right, so now let's measure it. This one is shimmed up to keep it level because it's outside on a slanted area. From the base to the top, 81.5 inches to the roof. So if you are gonna have this indoors, any roof under 7 feet will work. As far as width goes, you're looking at 83.5 inches. Now you are gonna wanna have a little bit of room off this left side just so that you can access the control panel. Now the cool thing about this heater is it also is Wi-Fi compatible, and there is gonna be an app that's cool. You can literally turn this thing on from anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection. And you can change the temperature, all that from your phone. So it's a really cool system, but you are gonna wanna have just a little bit of room off this side so that you can access that control panel if you need be. Also, this side is gonna be where your electrical components are gonna be, where you're gonna wire in your sauna. And that's the same on the regular Crew Cabin and the Crew Cabin XL. As far as depth goes, from the back to the front is just over 73 inches, almost exactly at 73 inches. The cool thing about this sauna is if you have a corner place that you wanna put this, you can literally put the back flush against a wall. There's nothing on the back that you're gonna need access to. Same thing with the right side. The only thing on the right side is gonna be a small little plate, and that's where the airflow is going to ventilate from. You're gonna wanna have some airflow inside a sauna. Makes for a really, really good experience. Now let's go inside. So now we're inside the sauna, and there is a lot of room in here. I was actually super impressed with the size of the benches. You see, inside most of the saunas, the bench themselves are actually a little bit smaller, typically around 18 inches. But the top bench on this sauna is 25 inches wide, meaning you could actually lay down on here and not feel like you're gonna fall off the bench. Now the lower bench, which is where your feet are gonna go, is 12.5 inches. And I wanna take a quick moment to explain really why the benches in the cabin sauna are a little bit higher. You see, when you get into a sauna, a lot of times you don't really understand this, but you actually want the heating component as low as possible, and you want to sit as high as possible because heat rises and your sauna heater is going to generate heat, and that heat is going to rise. So when you're able to sit a little bit higher, you're able to maximize the experience inside the sauna and really minimize the time needed to be inside it for you to really, really feel that heat and really, really get that heat. Now the cool thing about having a lower seating level is that when you need a little bit of a break from the heat up here, you can actually plop down and sit down a little bit lower, and you're able to get out of that high temperature heat that's up high. Also, if you have kids that are wanting to experience the sauna, it's a really cool place for them to get in, spend time with their family without being in that extreme temperature that's gonna be up here. Now in the XL, there's a lot of room width-wise. The bench is 77 inches long. There's also a really nice backrest back here that makes for a very comfortable experience when you're up on this top bench, leaning back. And I can lay down here perfectly flat and get really, really comfortable. I could also lay down on the lower bench if I wanted to, but I definitely don't. Now over here is a whole nother section that's really comfortable. I can literally lay back into the backrest here with plenty of headroom, which is awesome. Let's measure that real quick. So we're looking at 39 inches high from the top bench. So that gives you a lot of headroom for most people. I don't know anybody who's really gonna max that out. And this side over here gives you 64 inches. So you have a lot of room and a lot of options in here where you can have your whole crew come in here and have a great sauna experience together. So this is the Hume Hive Mini 9 kilowatt, which is, if you notice, there's a ton of rocks in here. And if you have a lot of exposed coils and not a lot of rocks, see, the rocks will actually evenly distribute the heat. The coils, it's more of a direct and radiant heat, which makes for a less comfortable experience, in my opinion. I've been in saunas that have minimal rocks, and it's almost like a sharp heat where it feels like your skin's kind of burning off. This is a little bit more of an even heat, and it's a little bit more relaxing. It actually feels really, really good. And it's a 9 kilowatt, so it's a very powerful heater, and it can reach temperatures of 230 degrees. And what's cool about this too is you can pour water on these rocks and create a little bit of a steam in here, which is really, really nice if you've never experienced that. Now, a couple nice things about this sauna too, there's a vent down here on the floor right by the heater. So what that's gonna do is allow for fresh airflow to come in here and create circulation. And then on the back side over here, there's another vent to create even more airflow inside this sauna. And now let's talk about the front, these views. You have a massive window to the left, a massive window to the right, and then if I shut this door, a beautiful glass door which allows a lot of natural light. And what I also love about this door, and I've been in a lot of different saunas, is the magnets that they use to keep the door shut are very powerful, and they're put there in a way where they're not gonna fall off. I've actually had that happen. So it keeps the door perfectly shut, really secure, and then when you open it, it just feels solid. And unfortunately, not all of them feel this solid. So I would say so far, I'm very impressed with this sauna. I also like inside here, and you can kind of see it from this angle, is the round edges on the sides of this sauna just really give this a great feel. And it's pitched kind of in a way in here to where it's kind of angled down. There's a lot of headroom. Once again, I'm 6'1", and I can fit in here without feeling like I need to duck in. And that's another thing to point out. When you're stepping in and you're a little taller, you're not having to crouch down. Like, I like barrel saunas too. I'm a big fan of anything sauna, anything that's hot. You don't feel like you have to like crouch down and duck down, have your back rounded when you're sitting. It's just a different experience. And so far, I'm really, really impressed and really liking it. So that was the Crew Cabin XL. Let's take a look and talk about the statistics of the Crew Cabin. Now, this sauna is gonna be rated for 2 squeeze 4 people in here, and we're gonna take a look inside and see if that's actually gonna be possible or not. A couple things to note, this is starting at $7,995, and that price is subject to change. Make sure you check the link down in the description below just to verify the pricing. It comes equipped with the 6 kilowatt Hume drop heater, which is amazing. It's also capable of reaching temperatures of 230 degrees. It will have that app and Wi-Fi access, so you can turn it on from anywhere in the world. And aesthetically, it has a lot of the same features of the Crew Cabin XL. But let's go ahead and measure this and check out the inside of this one. From the base to the top, 81.5 inches. So once again, under 7 feet if you're gonna have this one indoors. I think this would be a great sauna to have on a patio, inside your garage, or inside a gym, or even if like you're a business person and you have an office, like this would be a really cool feature to have for your employees. It's a small sauna that's easy to maintain, and a lot of people can really enjoy it. But let's talk about the width now. 54 inches wide, and the depth, 73.5 inches deep. It's a really deep sauna. And like we were talking about earlier, the back is completely flush. You could put it right up against the wall. This right side, you could put it right up into a corner. This would be a great sauna for really, I could see it outside, but I could also see it inside a lot of places. A couple things to point out. I really like the cedar trim around the front and the cedar trim around the windows and the doors. It looks really good. And a couple things I've noticed just as I've experienced these things for the day is the hinges on the door seem to be really, really high quality. And it seems silly, they're door hinges, right? No, I mean, there's a big difference between a low quality door hinge and a high quality door hinge. You want your door to open and shut flush on a sauna. You don't want there to be a little bit of a gap. So being able to open your door and have it nice and even, but more importantly, having these magnet points that are gonna keep your sauna door shut when you're in there, I think it's a nice touch. So it's rated for 2 up to 4 people. Let's go ahead and see if that's true. Similar to the Crew Cabin XL, has a massive bench here, and it's the exact same size, which to confirm is 24.5 inches, just under 25. We could call it 25 inches. It does come equipped with this backrest, and one of the things that I really like about the cabin sauna is that the floor is flat. And apparently I haven't built one of these yet, but everything is a little bit easier to build. They wanted to keep this super simple. So when you purchase the Sisu sauna, everything comes high quality, super duper simple. And I've been able to do a little behind the scenes factory tour, and I'll show some of those clips as well. It's really impressive the amount of craftsmanship that goes into each and every one of these saunas. So they actually come in these panels, and instead of having to put every individual board on this, there's actually panels, so it's very easy to assemble and it shouldn't take you very much time. So we have the upper seating and we also have the lower seating. So I could definitely say, like, me and my wife have a 2-person sauna that we get into every once in a while. This has a lot more room. The bench is much deeper, which makes for a way more comfortable experience. And having us elevated off the ground once again into this hot area of the sauna is really, really nice. We could totally fit 2 people up here, potentially 3 people up here very comfortably, but also we have the benches down low, so you could totally fit 4 people in here, absolutely. Let's talk about the width real quick. We talked about the depth, 49 inches to work with, which is a lot of room. And once again, there's so much space in these cabins. I feel like you have so much more room to actually like just spread out and get really comfortable. I love the backrests. I love the ventilation that we have in here. I love the headroom. And I love that you really get to just get comfortable. The way this backrest is angled, you're able to really like lean into it. And that's one of the things that I think separates the cabin saunas from the barrel saunas is you're able to lean into the backrest. Whereas when you're in a barrel sauna, a lot of times you don't realize it, but you're not able to lean against the backrest because the barrel is just that, it's a barrel. So you're more so leaning forward when you're inside a barrel, which is totally fine. 2 totally different experiences. So you just have to kind of figure out if you want a barrel sauna where it's a little bit more traditional, or if you want to get a cabin sauna, which is a little bit more relaxed. If you're looking for that relaxed kind of lounge back and get hot and sweaty with your friends and your family, I think the cabin's one you should definitely consider. One thing I didn't point out in the Crew Cabin XL is where the actual thermometer is. So they have it up here nice and high, right at head level. So I know that some people have talked about in the past maybe hacking their saunas and taking their thermometers and actually putting them like under the bench or putting them in different places in your sauna. I don't ever recommend that. I actually advise against that. You want to always get a reading of the temperature where your head is going to be primarily. And I like that they go ahead and have this right here at head level so that you can see exactly what the temperature is right here where your head is going to be. Another thing to point out while we're talking about this is that is why people wear those sauna hats, to protect their head from overheating. I get that question a lot on my Instagram, and if you ever have any questions that you want to ask me specifically, reach out to me. On my Instagram, it's dmossjr, and I'll answer any question I possibly can. But people are always asking me, why are you wearing that goofy hat? Like, what's that for? What that does is it actually protects my head from overheating and tell my body to get out of the sauna sooner than I need to. My body can withstand a lot more than my head, so wearing that nice sauna hat protects my head from overheating, and a lot of people don't know that. Hopefully that's something that you learn. So now that we've talked about the specs of both of these saunas and hopefully got you a little bit excited about them, I'm excited because my good friend Pete Nelson is here. He's the founder of Sisu Sauna, and I'm gonna go ahead and just let you answer some questions that I might have and maybe hopefully help the viewers out there understand a little bit more about the difference between Sisu Sauna and any of the other sauna brands out there. And we're not gonna throw shade on any other sauna brands out there at all, but we are gonna talk about what separates Sisu. So Pete, tell me what went into the design process of this sauna compared to your current generation saunas?
Absolutely. So the biggest 3 things that we always pride ourselves on are premium quality, trust, and simplicity.
Love that.
So we started off with really 2 sauna SKUs. We had the Eddie barrel and the Edwin barrel. And with that barrel sauna concept, we knew we wanted a specific look that featured, wood from the United States that's handcrafted in the United States and shipped out in a quick lead time. But we wanted to be able to take that same experience, but then create it and optimize the space for which the current barrel saunas are sitting in, right? So the Eddie barrel, which is the same comparable one to the Crew Cabin, and then the Edwin barrel, which is comparable to the Crew Cabin XL. It's the same footprint, but what we did is we wanted to make it more spacious. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is maintain the same aesthetic with the same cedar, the same roof kit, the same curvature that you would see in a barrel, but make it so where it's higher. So I'm able to stand all the way up. I'm 6'2", you're 6'1" or so. I could stand up very comfortably, sit and lounge comfortably. We wanted there to be a high, we wanted there to be a high amount of visibility ability to be able to see out and a lot of light coming in. So if you've got a beautiful property or you're looking over your gym or whatever you have, I want you to be able to see.
Yeah.
The other thing too is we wanted there to be wide benches. So you not only feel hugged by the bench, but you want to feel comforted by the bench. Too many times, like when I've been in saunas where the bench isn't wide enough, I feel like I'm kind of just slouched forward, or I'm trying to snug myself back into the sauna. So what we also did is we optimized the bench. So for our benches, we wanted to go 2-tier. That way you have yourself up in the heat cavity with your feet above the rock. And you also have the lower bench, which is that step bench. So in case you need the relief from the heat, you go sit down there.
Cool.
But we also made sure that the bench width was optimal. So we're actually at a 24-inch wide bench, which is great for me to be able to lay down all the way with both my shoulders. I'm a bigger guy.
Yep.
To be able to lay down and be comforted by the bench. But it's also to when I'm leaning back up against the wall, if I'm even leaning forward, my knee, the backside of my knee is actually hugged by the bench as well. So I just feel secure and I feel warm.
I agree with that. And getting to see you lay down in there and getting to also lay down in there and really feel that, because I've been in a lot of different saunas. I get to review a lot of these products, and I'm actually really excited about this. I think this is going to be a game changer, because a lot of those things are things that are pain points in many of the other saunas out there. Having a small bench. And you mentioned that this cedar is actually from the United States, and I know I've just witnessed it. It's being built right here.
Yep.
So is Sisu Sauna, like, is
everything is here in the US. So what we did is we got all of our wood right from Idaho, Western Red Cedar. We ship it into Ohio where we mill it. Our Amish and Finn American team then handcrafts and hand selects every single piece of wood, quality checks, and then we get to go ahead and make sure it's all prepackaged the right way. We crate it and then we ship it. And so that whole process of being able to put everything there into the US and be able to have and support our U.S. workers, like it's massive for us.
Well, not only that, but I can personally see a massive step up on the quality. To be totally transparent, like I get to review a lot of these products, and I've seen a lot of the products where the wood is definitely not hand selected. It's just kind of like getting what you get. Yeah. And there's cracks, and there's the knots have fallen out of the wood, and I know it's wood. Like cedar's gonna have imperfections, but I haven't been able to find one yet, and I'm sure I will. But like, I'm really impressed with the overall look, aesthetics, and craftsmanship of your saunas, getting to really spend some time and check them all out.
Yeah, we definitely want to be stewards of the wood, right? So like for us, when we get our wood in, yes, it's hand selected, but even if there are some imperfections, what we do is we'll actually go through the board and see if we could correct the imperfection. That way, when you are buying a sauna, you know for a fact like everything's already pre-fit, ready to go. Even if there's knots, like we'll do our best to go through the knot, fill it, and then sand it and make sure it's seamless. And I know you got to see that process before, but
so cool.
It's a time-consuming process, but it's a process that allows us to not only make sure that you have the best sauna experience, but it lets us be able to retain the wood that we have. That way we don't have much scrap. And
I feel like you use the scraps too. Like
we do.
So I also, like, I notice things on the actual base of some of your saunas, like the barrel saunas, right? You actually pre-put in spacers so you don't have to sit there and stress out about making sure that the base is perfectly even, perfectly measured. If you've ever purchased a barrel sauna and built one for yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that stress of making sure that your base is perfect. Because if your base isn't perfect, the sauna is not going to be. It's not going to fit right.
Off.
It's going to be all off. So I commend you for that, because I think that's something you don't have to do, but you are doing.
To give you the scope of like where we've came from, we were sauna buyers before we ever got into manufacturing. And so we were able to look at our experience that we had with building our own barrel saunas and our own, outside of, barrel saunas, what we did is we had our own cabin saunas that we purchased from another company. And through that process, we realized like, oh, there's like some inefficiencies here that we could potentially solve for. And it's one of the reasons why we created our brand, is again, it's the simplicity. How can we take this complex build out or complex heating system and make it more simple and digestible for the consumer?
Well, is there anything that anyone watching this video needs to know about Sisu Sauna that maybe I've failed to mention, something that you want to just say?
Yeah, for sure. So I would just say, when you sum up what our brand is, again, it's the premium quality with our US sourced, US made, handcrafted saunas that's married with the simplicity. Like when somebody goes to our website, I don't want there to be a bunch of options. I don't want there to be a bunch of upsells. It just needs to be really, really streamlined and simple. And we really, really are all about the relationships and the trust. Absolutely. We learn with our customers. We also thrive with our customers. It's the same thing with our ambassadors that we partner with. We want there to be a high level of trust, and we want you to be set up for years to come. So what you're seeing here behind us is taking those three values and putting them into our next versions of our Sisu saunas. So long term, for us to be able to have our barrels and our cabin saunas and the other products that we may eventually come out with, we always want those three things to be rooted in everything that we do.
Well, bro, thank you for letting me get in the factory, get to check out how it's all built. I love getting to see it. Just like it fires me up when someone and their team take pride in what it is that they're building, it just really elevates the experience for the end user and the consumers, right? Like they get a sauna delivered to their door. It's easy to put together. It's easy to operate. And the experience is a 10 out of 10. That's like the goal, right?
That's our goal every single time.
You're doing a great job. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Strong stuff. Well, there you have it, my friends. There's the review of the all-new Crew Cabin Sauna and the Crew Cabin XL by Sisu Sauna. If you have any questions that I didn't go over in detail, please post them down in the comments below. I'll make sure to answer all of those for you. Pete's been super gracious, and he's allowing me to give you an exclusive discount code. So make sure that you use discount code MAUS. That's MAUS for a special discount. I'll have a link down in the description below that you can also use. That'll make it super duper easy. One of the things Pete mentioned is that it keeps it super simple, and I love the Sisu website. It is extremely simple. There's not a ton of options you have to stress out about. They vetted out the best options for you, and they include it in the purchase, which is super duper cool. It's not something I see in all the other saunas that I review. So once again, if you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun YouTube stuff. But hey, we mentioned a lot of the comparisons of the barrel sauna, and if you haven't checked out my review of the Sisu, Eddie, and Edwin barrel sauna, I want you to check that out. I'm gonna have that video popped up right here. So go ahead and check that out too, so that you can see the differences between the barrel saunas and the cabin saunas by Sisu. So once again, that video will be right here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless. What a freaking loser. That's making it. That's gonna be the intro. What a loser I am.
I agree.